It's a wonderful day in the homiehood, a wonderful day for a homie. Won't you be my homie to Taro? This is our boy, uh, Tucker, that MFer, who has been extremely busy this past month decrying the woke changes to M&Ms that have rendered the candies apparently unfuckable in the eyes of the Fox News host. I honestly, it's crazy that like people like Tucker Carlson can say things like, "Wow, gender is not a social construct," but also the green M&M is no longer fuckable. It's just wild. Like these same people will be like, a woman is a human being who can give birth to another human being and has a functional uterus, but also the green M&M is a woman, and the moment we don't make her a woman, like I will be outraged. So again, very very bizarre. But anyways, Mars made their M&M characters as unattractive as possible. They're M&Ms, bro. He told viewers earlier this week. The green M&M lost her sexy boots. Oh no. The brown M&M her stiletto heels. I didn't even know about the brown M&M being in stilettos, but what do I know? I'm not into this type of hentai. Okay. The company added obese and distinctly frumpy lesbian M&Ms. What? Are we really mad about like having lesbian M&Ms? However, on Thursday, he took a break from the important story to shine a light on another major matter. That Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is, unbeknownst to the rest of the world, an authoritarian dictator from whom the people of Canada need to be liberated. I just want to make sure, is this 2022? No, this is January 2023. I'm like, didn't this already happen? Anyways, referencing the 2022 protests by anti-vaccine truckers whose demonstrations had disrupted the flow of trade between Canada and the US, and whose arrests Carlson had claimed were evidence the country was a dictatorship, the conservative talk show host suggested on Tucker Carlson today that the US should invade our neighbors to the north. It's Chud Groundhog Day. I know, for real. Like, we had to have the convoy too, but then we also had to have Tucker Carlson doing his take. Like, weren't the M&Ms like something that we were already talking about like a long time ago? I'm completely in favor of the Bay of Pigs operation to liberate that country, Carlson said, not mentioning how the Bay of Pigs actually worked out. Spoiler alert, it didn't work out. Why should we stand back and let our biggest trading partner, the country with which we share the longest border, and actually, I'll just say, a great country? I love Canada. I've always loved Canada because of its natural beauty. Why should we let it become Cuba? He asked. I mean, I think we can also love Cuba for its natural beauty, right? I don't know what's wrong with Tucker that he doesn't think Cuba is naturally beautiful. Like, why don't we liberate it? We're spending all this money to liberate Ukraine from the Russians. Why are we not sending an armed force north to liberate Canada from Trudeau? And I mean it. So, okay, he's saying, what is he saying here? Like, he's just all over the place with the political spectrum. Like, he's basically saying that Cuba is Russia, which, you have to basically have a really remedial understanding of the political spectrum, because I guess there is, a shared history there where Cuba is a communist country and Russia was once upon a time a communist country. But in this day and age, Russia is like an authoritarian imperial country invading Ukraine. And he is saying that they need to invade Canada to liberate them. Who are they liberating? I don't know. In this scenario, the US would be Russia and Canada would be Ukraine, right? So it's just like ridiculous that he would make this comparison, like invading a neighboring country for no reason other than imperialism. That would be, you would be the bad people in that case, United States of America. Then he suggested, after saying, and I mean it, that he was just joking. I'm just talking to myself into a frenzy here. Incidentally, despite claiming to love Canada, this isn't the first time Carlson had beef with the place, calling it in 2019 a sick society that hates itself. So, okay,
Another, a single mother.
Let's take a look at the old footage here, and then we'll get into the new footage.
Paid Yaniv $2,500 simply to go away. One journalist who was covering it was banned from Twitter simply for observing the truth that Yaniv is, in fact, a biological male, which is true.
Wait, what? What is this? What does this have to do with Canada? Is this the right tweet? Somehow this is all related to trans people simply existing.
Why is all of this happening? Well, it's hard not to conclude the obvious, because Canada is a sick society. Only a society that hates itself would allow itself to be bullied by someone like Jessica Yaniv. Hopefully America will never reach that point, but many people are doing their best to make certain that we do. We should resist that if we can.
I don't know. I know nothing about that story, but it just like obviously Tucker Carlson is like a transphobic white supremacist POS, and oi polloi here, maybe giving some more context. Jessica Yaniv was a POS as well, and nobody in Canada was on her side. Okay, so it's one of those situations where like, hey, yeah, it turns out trans people are not perfect, and some of them can be bad too and do bad things. And unfortunately, because the way that trans people are persecuted, they become ambassadors for their entire gender and their entire identity, and they get used as tools for propagandists like Tucker Carlson. He is the propaganda news from the dystopian novel or just the obvious villain in a Batman comic. He does have a bit of a Joker laugh, does he not? Let's see. Okay, so this is the segment. This is the latest Tucker being a POS.
So I have to ask you about Canada and what we saw happen there last winter, the trucker protests, and then the crackdown by the authoritarian government of Canada.
It's like they are trying to like pander to the convoy crowd. It's crazy.
What struck you about that?
I thought you were going to ask me whether Trudeau is Castro's son, or if
he very much obviously is, and I'm completely in favor of a Bay of Pigs operation to liberate that country. I mean, why should we stand back and let our biggest trading partner, the country with which we share the longest border, and actually, I could just say a great country. I love Canada. I've always loved Canada because of its natural beauty. Why should we let it become Cuba? Like, why don't we liberate it?
It's like when an imperialist is like, I love your country for its natural beauty, and that's why I want to invade it. That's kind of like concerning, right?
We're spending all this money to liberate Ukraine from the Russians. Why are we not sending an armed force north to liberate Canada from Trudeau? And I mean it.
Well, I don't know.
But you don't have to answer.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm there yet with you.
At least his guest has the goddamn sense to be like, yo, I'm not with that.
Talking myself into a frenzy here.
I was pleasantly.
Anyways, I wish there was more of the clip, but I think that's all that we're gonna get. Sadly, it was on Twitter as well, but I have yet to see the full clip. Nor do I really need to see the full clip. Like, it's Tucker Carlson being a POS. So it's just, can I just say, like, it's really dumb. And it's also really dangerous because these are the types of things that, sure, we're just joking about it today. We're just joking about it today on Tucker Carlson, and it's just a joke and it's not serious. But these are the type of things that can like penetrate into the mainstream with these conspiracy theorists, right? Like today it's a joke. You know, in a month from now, it might be another joke and then another joke. And then, oh, maybe it's not a joke one day. And there's like even a small faction of conspiracy theorists on both sides of the border who are like, yes, the U.S. should invade Canada. Right. And then Donald Trump makes a joke about it and it becomes like national news. Right. And so even though it's stupid and it's funny and he is probably just joking and obviously kind of like unprepared to even like give this interview. His guest being like, yo, what are you doing? I don't want to be incriminated in this way by being part of this like narrative of invading a democratically elected leader who shares a border with the US. So like it's all fun and games like until it's not, especially when you are one of the most watched, if not the most watched political pundit in American news. So I think it's time, just like the people of Ukraine and just like the people of Taiwan, for Canadians to start getting ready for a potential invasion, right? Purple Mavis here saying it's also been a conspiracy theory you first heard in 2001. And yeah, it's like I said, it is like a repressed fear that we have. So I think it's time for, tell Trudeau we're putting the gun legislation on hold because it's time for the Canadian population to arm itself and start training for a potential American invasion. It all starts on January 26th, the day that Tucker Carlson made this this joke, I know the people of Taiwan are training, and I know, Ukraine is fighting. I think it's important for us to prepare ourselves.